Hey, good evening. Welcome to the car. How you doing? Yes, it's a late Friday night edition. Hello, Mila. How you doing? I am on my way back from New Jersey, where our mockumentary Today Is Now had its screening tonight in the NJ Webfest in Montclair, New Jersey. And then there was a little bit of a sort of a schmooze, a little official schmooze fest after the screening. So that's why this is happening at a bizarre hour. Um, I'm right now in Lower Manhattan. I'm in on Worth Street, way downtown, on my way from New Jersey to Brooklyn. And when you go from New Jersey to Brooklyn, you got to go through Manhattan. Um, Dan, this past Wednesday. You met Dan. Wait. Oh, Dan Osborne. Oh my God, you met Dan Osborne? Wow. Um, you're hoping that this group can take on a creative project to promote the candidacy of Dan Osborne. Okay, I want to hear more about that. I heard Feldman talking about Dan Osborne. Okay, Osborne. Yeah, I want to learn more about Dan Osborne and his candidacy. Is that Nebraska? And is he the unaffiliated guy? I think I went to his website. Like he doesn't pick a party. I think that's it. And somehow, if I'm remembering correctly, given that the John Tester campaign isn't looking right now, it's not looking very promising, although there's still a lot of time. But am I right that if Tester doesn't win, there's a way for the Democrats to still uh, hold on to the Senate with Osborne? Okay, he's running as an independent. You're saying just not a fan of corporate Democrats. All right, I'll buy that. I want to hear more about that. If you can send me some stuff about that, or if you have a specific idea about how to support his candidacy, I'm all ears. Um, I did. I don't know if I discussed this on the show last night, but I bailed on the phone banking. I just didn't have it in me. I think I did talk about it. I just didn't have it in me to be phone banking. But I am very happy to donate. The reason I didn't have it in me to phone bank is because I just felt a sense of not being genuine or genuine, you might want to pronounce it. It didn't feel very genuine of me to be calling people in Montana and telling them why they should vote for a certain candidate, just because they have their own lives and their own volition. Um, but I do believe that Tester's the better candidate. Um, but I don't feel like I'm in a position to explain that to anyone, especially not people who are from there. Anyway, that's all that was about. So I don't think phone banking is in my future, but I'd like to do speed trap reported ahead. So right now I am driving by the courthouses in Lower New York, and actually this is where the 5 points was. There's a plaque right here. Um, there's a plaque, and I found it once because I was just curious where exactly was the original settlement of New York City, and it's right here. There's a plaque that says this is the five points, and a thing called Collect Pond. There was a pond here called Collect Pond, which then ended up being filled in. So if you if you know the Scorsese movie, the the Gangs of New York, that takes place in 5 points. Um, that was why 5 points was on my radar to begin with. But it's interesting when you live in a place and you live there for many years, and then you see something historical about it, and you realize, wait a minute, I have no idea where this this place is that's so central, literally and figuratively central to the history and the development of my native city and the place I live. So it was cool to find that exact spot, the 5 points. I have a new hands-free device as of a few months ago, and it's much lower, so you're getting this unflattering low angle. So now I'm driving through Chinatown, where still, unlike Greenpoint, Brooklyn, near where I live, that used to have all these signs in Polish, but now doesn't. Chinatown still has tons of signs in Chinese. Now I am under the Manhattan Bridge. I just drove under the Manhattan Bridge. And now where the hell am I? Pike Street. See, this is the problem with me not, oh, I think I'm on the left here. This is the problem with me being on YouTube at the moment. I can't also have my GPS on, so I'm having to navigate like we humans did for all those years before we had GPS. But I just heard the GPS blip at me, which I think means that it was rerouting, which means I did something wrong. Working class hero. Okay, that sounds good. I couldn't read the whole message, but count me in. I'm in spirit for sure. Now I'm crossing Canal Street. I'm heading north on what the hell am I on? Forsyth? I'm like a tourist in New York now. Hester. This is Hester Street. Oh, I'm on Allen. We just crossed over Hester Street. Hester Street it plays a big part in Call It Sleep, the Henry Roth novel. That's where the kid lives and he gets lost. And he doesn't quite know how to say Hester. And I think the kid, the narrator of Call It Sleep, he tries to explain to the cops where he lives. And he's trying to remember or pronounce Hester Street. So yeah. Oh, so the festival, it's called njwebfest. It's an interesting mix of stuff. So there's short films like our film, which is a mockumentary. It was a comedy. By the way, it was really well received. It was so fun watching it in that audience. People were just laughing their butts off. And that was just great to hear. So Today Is Now, the film that really made an impact. Lots of big laughs, consistent laughs. That was very cool. But this festival includes audio, so there are podcasts, which is an interesting, sort of slightly bizarre experience of sitting in a theater looking at the screen where they'll have like an image or some moving image of some kind, but you're listening to the podcast. But since it's being projected or broadcast in a movie theater, they add some visual component to it, but nothing connected to the narrative, just some sort of placeholder images. It's I don't know what it's akin to, but it was pretty cool, but definitely a different experience, because when you're watching movies in a movie theater, that's what a movie theater is built for, obviously. But listening to a podcast, you don't expect to be sitting in a theater looking at a screen. Listening to a podcast, I expect to be sitting at my kitchen counter or driving my car, which is what I'm doing now. Thank you, Mila, for emailing me that idea for Osborne. I do want to do more. In the remaining 5 weeks, 5.5 weeks until the election. I'm now driving east on Delancey Street towards the Williamsburg Bridge. The kids are out, people are out, they're partying, it's busy. It's wild. I don't know if it's wild. There's my sunroof. I don't know if you can hear the thumping. There's a bar on the corner here called Le Jardin. Bistrot Le Jardin. and the music is thumping. I just heard a great interview on Q. It's a Canadian radio show, and the subject of the interview was Francis Ford Coppola. So he was interviewed, and he was talking about various things about his new film. I didn't hear the whole interview, but he was talking about his the acting exercises and the theater games that he would play with actors, including like standing in a circle and throwing an imaginary ball back and forth and making a certain sound while you throw it, and then copying the sound and then making up your own sound. But it was pretty extraordinary because after describing, after hearing Coppola explain the rules of this game, the host of the show, whose name I'm forgetting, the host says, and it's worth mentioning that Coppola is 85 years old, but he just springs out of his chair to demonstrate the game. He's still making movies. He's 85, and he just sounds very sharp and energetic and still creative. So that was really cool. Bye, Mila. Well, someone has to go. Walk to the Trader Joe's. Oh, it closes at 9. Okay. All right, good luck at Trader Joe's. Enjoy. Yes, hey JX, how you doing? It's a driving show. Today's episode is happening in my car. I'm driving from New Jersey, where I was at the film festival, driving back to Brooklyn, about to go over the Williamsburg Bridge. I don't know if you ever read The Alienist. The Alienist was a really good book. Came out around, I think, 1998, something like that. It was a great murder, kind of a murder mystery and a psychological, historical, well, not historical in the sense of a true story, but it's very much about the history of New York City. So the Williamsburg Bridge plays a big role in the book, or at least a significant role, because the plot kicks off right around the time that the Williamsburg Bridge is opening, which I think is 1898, maybe. So I'm right now I'm on the ramp to Williamsburg. You know, I'm on the bridge, but a very, very long stretch of the Williamsburg Bridge is not over the East River; it's over Lower Manhattan. If you can imagine a very gradual rise, the ramp up to the suspension part of the bridge goes for about a half a mile, where you're driving above what would have been the tenements of the Lower East Side back in the day, but are now some very, very large housing projects, municipal housing. Anyway, the Williamsburg Bridge. That's where I am at the moment. So I did have a few copies of the book, Today Is Now, with me, and I sold a couple of copies to some people in the audience at cost. Didn't make a profit. I think I even took a little loss. Just sold a couple, but I brought them because I thought it would be a fun kind of novelty thing to have the books for sale after people see the movie, because the movie is so much about the book. Descending, now I'm on the Brooklyn side of the Williamsburg Bridge, descending towards Broadway, the Williamsburg Savings Bank, beautiful old bank building right here, and then Peter Luger, the famous old steakhouse here on Broadway in Williamsburg. Tonight's show has no music, as you can see. I am not advanced enough on the ukulele or on the steering wheel to do both at the same time. Here, I'll show you the beautiful Williamsburg Savings Bank and Peter Luger Steakhouse, that old building. And there's the Williamsburg Savings Bank. I think tonight is sort of episode 444 of this show. Been doing it every night since July 14th, 2023. And tonight is one of the rare episodes where I'm not sitting at home with the ukulele and a music book and making that part of the show. Since January, that's been a big element in the show. In case anyone is watching this and thinking, what the hell is this show? This is not what the show usually is. It's usually music and talk without any vehiculation. Tonight I'm vehiculating. Right now I'm driving west on Broadway, heading back towards the river. I'm now in Brooklyn and getting close to home. I hope everyone's having a good weekend. The weekend just started. I hope your Friday night is going well. Going well here. I'm going to go back to that njwebfest for the gala. The gala and awards ceremony on Sunday evening. Tomorrow I have to get myself to Brighton Beach to take a swim, to start experiencing the cooling water as part of the slow acclimatization process, so I can swim in the cold water effectively this winter. The more you go in September and October, as the temperature starts to dip, the better. This is this Domino sugar factory, which has been turned into a big condo. That's what that is. That's Domino. That's a Van Morrison song that if I had my ukulele on me, I might be able to take a crack at that. Oh, Domino. There. Now you can't say I didn't sing it all. Well, you kind of can. Now we're crossing Grand Street. Getting close to home. Hello, everybody. Hello, California. Hello, New York. Hello, points in between California and New York. There's the Empire State Building. You might be able to make it out there. Vehiculation. Hey, James. You haven't driven since 2006. Interesting. Have you been relying on public transportation? Or just ambulation? Oh, Domino. All right, here we are at North 3rd Street. Oh, and we're driving by Trader Joe's. I think Mila just left to go to her Trader Joe's. There's our Trader Joe's right there. And now we're here on my little North 3rd Street. All that remains is to find a parking spot. And there's one right here. What do you know? Lucky dog. weekend. It's easier to park. All right, let's keep the show going. I'm going to turn off these lights. And we'll step outside and finish the show. Oh, there we go. All right. Oh, you lost your vision, so you have to stop driving. Yeah, I know people who are legally blind, so they can't drive. I know a guy who was legally blind, so he couldn't drive forever. Then he had a surgery, and then he could drive. In fact, I know two people in that situation. That's an interesting phenomenon. Like, how do you deal once you get your vision back with suddenly driving again? Sing a song, you're the ukulele man. Yeah, I'm home now. I'm just a few feet from home, but I can't bust in and start ukulizing because, humans and dogs are asleep in there. Um, but we'll go for a little walk. There's the building. That's my building, that little building right there. And there's the diner, the beautiful diner, which is no longer a diner. But there's always someone walking up to that diner, trying to get in, thinking it's a diner. Because it looks like it would be a great place for a late night bite of something to eat. This is a situation in New York. They don't have enough public trash receptacles. But this is the nice old diner. And that's it. Ah. Oh, Astral, you were joking. You didn't want me to ukulize immediately. I mean, suddenly. Yeah, this is me in my natural habitat. I've been living on this same corner for going on 30 years. So this is my habitat. Yeah, there it is. And this is the diner that was Relish years ago, and then it was La Esquina, and then it was Blank Street Coffee. And you can see it in lots of movies. All right, well, that's an abridged show. Thank you for tuning in. Where are the rats? No rats. We've solved the rat problem. Oh, I think the rats are asleep. The rats are asleep in their little rat beds, singing their little rat songs, and tucking their little rat babies into their little rat beds. And the little rat beds have their little rat thumbs and their little rat mouths. And they're dreaming their little rat dreams in which they're dancing their little rat dances and celebrating their little rat holidays. The rats are doing fine. All right. Please tune in every night at 9. Tonight was a weird hour. Last night was a weird hour. But I swear on all things good and holy that this is a show that happens at 9 p.m. on the East Coast every night. It's the Nosho. I am Ethan. Thank you very much for tuning in to this late mobile version of the Nosho. Yeah, I think it's a nice angle. Get a nice view of the diner. There it is. A nice view. A nice view of the diner. Everybody have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow.